creamy nougats and chewy caramels.
Today we're going to be looking at a feature in Runway called Frames. This allows you to input up to three images, and have Runway end up doing the in-between animation of what you've provided it with. So the first thing to do when you go into Runway is you're going to want to switch to previous model, because Frames is accessed through Gen 3. And when you see the Gen 3 entry page here, the first thing you're going to do is drop your assets into there. I'm going to go ahead and add my first image. And it'll take a few seconds for it to import it. Sometimes you may have to crop so that you're inside of a landscape framing or portrait if you're doing something like that. So I'll go ahead and crop this one. And that's our first frame. I'm going to go ahead and add these other two frames, images that I took. It's a G.I. Joe on the floor in my kitchen. And that's what Runway is going to use, and it'll end up doing the in-between animation. Okay, so we have our three images input into Runway. And you can see here's the first frame, second frame, third frame. And if you want to, you can always rearrange the order. I could make that the second frame if I wanted to. But in this case, we'll do a sequence of the character walking towards camera. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit generate. I'm going to do a 5-second generation here and then see what it looks like. Okay, so you can see with this 5-second generation, it doesn't look right. His feet are sliding at the end. I think that's because in this sequence, I didn't give it enough time to actually get from point A to point B. So I'm going to regenerate this now, but I'm going to say 10 seconds. So we'll switch our duration to 10 seconds. And now we'll go ahead and hit generate there. And now you can see with this 10-second generation, the character has enough time to get from the back of the floor to the front up to the camera. And I look at that and I go like, that's pretty good. The walking looks, I mean, it's stiff, it's a G.I. Joe, and it's kind of captures the quality of stop motion. And, I think that it's kind of interesting, because what you're providing is, kind of like stop motion, but you're only doing the keyframes and it's doing all of the extra work. So it's like having an assistant. You go, I want the character here, here, and here, and now make them walk for me. I'll have that done in post, like in this scenario. So when I did this G.I. Joe, here's a bunch of sequences that I did with this G.I. Joe. I went and shot them in different places around my house, outside. Got some floating shots. And I ended up spending a fair amount of time just shooting that stuff, maybe a couple hours. But if I was doing all this as a traditional time lapse, I'd be spending a couple days or weeks maybe. So I'm liking this in terms of the ease of use. And here's some other examples where I'm using hand-drawn characters. Right now I've just done it mainly with like G.I. Joes and hand-drawn characters. I'm sure you could do it with a live action person, but I'm not sure why you would do that. Like stand in the back, then walk, and then I'll take a picture of you closer, and unless you're going to use the AI to change the way they look. Anyway, I think this is a really useful feature. I absolutely would use this function, because the main thing is that you get to control what's in the frame. That's my real kitchen. There's nothing added to it. All of those other shots, those are real places. It didn't add anything to them. If we look at some of these that I'm showing right now, you'll see I'm using a cardboard maquette that I make, and all of that table, all that stuff on the table, that's all 100% real. It didn't add anything. That's the actual location, which is cool because it's giving you the ability to control what your set looks like. So for that G.I. Joe sequence, here are the images that I shot, just a time lapse of them. So you can see I did, a couple hundred images just to get to that point. And here are some other shots, just random things that I've tried with frames. Some of them where it's like totally different settings, so you just get some kind of weird morphing and weird stuff happening. Again, just a range of experiments. I think that's the main thing too, is that when you're using this stuff, you really have to start playing around with it and trying crazy stuff.